Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this Madden 21 defensive tips video breakdown, I want to take a look at how to defend the deep post cross combo. Now, this particular combo has been pretty effective, especially against cover 3, I've noticed, and what I want to show you is how you can go ahead and try to counter it, or at least make it not so wide open, let's put it that way. So what I want to do here is to get on the field here. I want to walk you through a play that I found. It's pretty effective out of the Buccaneers playbook that we're going to show that does an excellent job at attacking cover 3 for a big play, and then I want to show you how to counter it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the play. You can see on your plays call screen right there, it's going to be the play action bunch shot. Of course, you're going to find this out of the bunch formation, now the gun bunch formation, strong formation that is. And you'll find this out of the Buccaneers playbook, the one I'm going to use here. And again, the name of the play is called the play action bunch shot. So let's go ahead and get on the field here and take a look at it. And then from there, we'll go into the coverages and we'll show you how easily it is to attack cover 3. And then what I want to do is show you how to counter it. So let's go ahead and take a look at it here on the play call screen. We'll get going on with it. So as you can see on your screen here, as we're getting to it, you'll notice I'm in the formation. It's going to be the gun bunch halfback strong. And I'm going to go ahead and pick this play right here. It's called the play action bunch shots, the one I've already mentioned right there as you look at your screen. And I want to show you why this play is effective. And then what I want to do is I want to go back and actually show you how to counter it. And the way to counter it's going to be pretty simple, and I want to show you that to you guys as well. So one of the things I want to point out here is whenever you lab, especially when you're trying to find these deep shot plays and you want to see how effective they are, one of the things I suggest is just go into the game. Make sure you got 2 controllers. Put one on offense, one on defense, obviously. The one on the defensive side of the ball, a lot of times what I like to do just to practice these plays, just because I want to make sure they work, is to go ahead and put some of the linemen in QB spy. And the reason I do this is because I don't want them to rush the quarterback. I want to make this where I can see if the play is going to work without having to being able to be pressured. And that's one of the ways you can test this. Now, of course, in a real game situation, if they've got an elite defensive lineman or they've got some guys blitzing and stuff like that, then a lot of these play action type shot plays or even the deep shot plays that you'll find in the game may not be as effective because if they're able to get pressure, then obviously they don't have enough time to throw it. But at any rate, you still want to practice them and see if they're going to work and see how effective they are. So with this particular play, the one I'm about to show here, that has this route here, as you're going to look at it over here towards your left, this receiver right here is going to go ahead and run that deep post into that area there. Now that's going to go ahead and be the split in. And then the other receiver that mainly makes this play so effective is the other receiver on the other side who runs this deep crossing route. And he comes up this area here and he breaks across. Now a lot of times what will happen is the safety, in this case it's going to be right here, he'll end up coming over in this area here and then he'll kind of slip back into this area here before breaking over to cover that post route. And unfortunately, the other defender is supposed to be dropping back in this deep 1/3 to help out, which is this corner right here. He normally doesn't drop far enough back. A lot of times you may have seen him somewhere in this area here where he just doesn't drop far enough back to take it away. And then a lot of times what your opponent will do, what he'll do is he'll roll a little bit over here to the right. And then once he sees this receiver, as he comes, like I said earlier, as he comes over in this area here, then what he'll do is he'll launch a deep pass down in this area here. And a lot of times this guy's going to be wide open where he can make that throw. And then that guy will end up catching it and taking off and going in for a score on a one play, just a one play pass. And that's it. All it takes is just one play if it gets you in the right coverage. So let's go ahead and run this. And I want to show you what I mean. And then from there, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and show you how to counter here in just a sec. Now I want to show you the defense again right here. This is out of the dollar defense that we're doing here, the $326. It's a cover 3 defense. And as I mentioned earlier, this particular safety, as you look at your screen right here, this one right here is the one that we're going to focus in on as far as attacking. So let's just go ahead and run it, and then we'll just see what happens here. And then I can show you how effective this play is against this particular coverage. And then I'll show you why, something that you can do to try to counter this play and take it away. So as you can see right there, as I said before, it's pretty much, providing that the quarterback has the time, it can turn into a big play deep down the field where you can score a touchdown on your side of the ball, on the offensive side of the ball. And that's the downside of it. Let's go back in the instant replay and take a look at it. And then we can really go back and dissect it a little bit more. So the first thing I want you guys to do is I want you guys to go ahead and focus again on the defender I was talking about earlier, this deep zone defender who's supposed to be in that cover 3. And then also this defender right here. These are the two that should defend it. And unfortunately they don't. So as we're going to watch, you're going to see that this guy's going to go up the field. He's going to break across, and he's going to get open where we can make that deep pass down the field. That's what you're going to see here as we go through this. So let's go back and insert replay and take a look at it. All right, we're going to slow it down just a minute here. Now, let's keep focusing on, for right now, let's just go ahead and focus in on this safety right here. So what I want to do right now at this point is I want to go ahead and zoom in on him and just watch what he's doing right now. See how he's going? Now he's starting to slip to the inside, not to the inside, towards the outside there. And that's because as you watch, this receiver right here, the one that's running that crossing route that we talked about earlier, he's coming across into this area here. And so therefore, this deep zone defender now is going to this direction. Now he's going to get himself out of position because on the other side of the field, the primary receiver that we talked about earlier is running that route, that crossing route. And that's what you're seeing happening right now. That's what's going on about right now on the screen as you're looking at it. So let's keep going with it. All right, so right there, this defender now at this point, if we go ahead and zoom in, he's finally reacting and coming back. So now this defender now has to come back this direction to go ahead and cover that crossing, or not that crossing route, but that deep post route that's being ran over here by that receiver. Now he's going to get himself out of position. Now if that receiver has a lot of speed, it even makes it that much more harder for him to defend. And then if you look over here, we've got this defender, for some odd reason, he ain't doing what we want him to do. We want him to sink back. I mean, there's no reason for him not to sink back because there's no other defender or receiver, excuse me, as you look at it, there's no receiver in this area. So there's really no reason for this guy not to drop further back to take that away. Unfortunately, he doesn't. And when he doesn't drop back, it leaves that open. And that's what happens on the play that makes this play so effective, at least this route combo against cover 3 coverage. So what can you do to defend it? Obviously, one of the things you can do is you can manually defend if you want. You can take control of the safety who's playing the deep middle and try to take that away yourself, especially if you see him come out. Let me just give you a word of hint. A lot of times when this particular route combo, it's in a trips type formation, rather it's in a 3-by-1 formation. A lot of times you'll find that regardless if it's in a bunch or whatever, you're going to have three receivers always lined up to this side of the field, and then you're going to have that one lone defender, in this case over here, you're going to have that one lone defender over there. So a lot of times if you see this setup where you've got three, note that the backside receiver, in this case the backside receiver being this guy right here, the one that I'm pointing out here, the one I'm highlighting, is going to be running that deep post route. So that's the one you got to concentrate on to defend this when you're running cover 3. So if you want to user it and control this safety, then you got to watch for that and realize he may end up coming into this area, and then you got to try to defend it yourself manually if you decide to take control of safety. Now, I know a lot of us, we like to control the linebackers, or we maybe want to manually blitz, and then we can't do that if we have to defend this. So one of the things you can try to do if you want is, let me go ahead and show it to you here, is you can go ahead and flip the defense. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it. So now the safety that's playing the deep middle is going to be the, as you look at it, it's going to be the strong safety right here. He is now playing the deep middle over in this area here, as you can see. So I flipped the play. So now he's got to come across over to this area here from where he's at here. He's got to come all the way across, and that's going to put him in a little better position so he doesn't go quite as far over when that crossing route's being ran. He's not going to go quite as far over. Trust me on this. Now, one of the things about that is, and I'll show you here in a second as we run this, because you're still going to find that that receiver might be still open, even if what I just did there. So I want to show something else you can do. So let's go ahead and put our guys in QB spy as we're running this and take a look at it. And I just want to show you what will happen here. Okay, so there we go with that. Now that guy's in a little better position, even though we still didn't knock it down. But now if I would have used or took control of that safety, I probably could have got him over there. So as you watch, that puts him in a little better position than what he was earlier when we didn't have the play flipped. So now that safety's in a little better position to go ahead and defend that. Even though I didn't take control of him, at least he was near the ball. Trust me, he's a lot closer than he was earlier. Let's go ahead and run it one more time here, and then I'll show you something else you can do with this to make sure without having to manually control this guy. All right, so there we go again. Right there, he's able to make still able to make the play on that. But again, the guy is a little bit closer than what he was initially. So how do we fix that? So let's go ahead and do the same thing again. Let's go ahead and flip the defense. What you can do is you can take control of this guy, And you can even move him just a little bit further over in this direction here if you want. And then you can switch off to another defender, do whatever you want. Maybe you want to control this guy and watch the middle of the field. So let's go ahead and do it again. This time what I'm going to do, let me actually go ahead and put these guys in QB spy so I can show you this. So we're going to put them in QB spy, and then we're going to go ahead and run the play. Now watch this time, and I'll actually take control of them this time. And at that time I end up getting a pick. So what that does is that puts that guy in a little better position where you can go ahead and defend it by simply just moving him a little bit further to the right, away from the trips, away from the single receiver on the left as you look at your screen. Let's go ahead and flip the play again. So we'll go ahead and flip it, move this guy just maybe over a little bit more over. That's all you got to do. And then you can go ahead and put these guys in QB spy. Let's go ahead and do the same thing again. I'm not going to troll anybody underneath here. I do want to try this. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the ball just like I did earlier. That time I couldn't get over there in time, but I was able to knock the ball out. So at least you got a fighting chance if you decide to go ahead and go this route. Then if you want to control somebody else besides having to control the safety, this will at least give you a fighting chance to go ahead and defend this route combo, because honestly this route combo is pretty darn effective against cover 3 coverage, and providing that the quarterback has enough time to make that throw. Now that comes back to my other point. Let's go ahead and not do anything this time on the defensive side of the ball outside of flipping it. Let's just go ahead and flip it. Now we'll move I will go ahead and move this safety over. And then I'm going to go ahead and run the play. But as I said, I'm not going to hot route any of the defensive linemen. And then the defensive linemen, as long as it can get in there, this is what will happen right there. So you still have the defensive lineman. If you've got an elite pass rusher, there's a good chance that play isn't going to work nearly as effective. Remember, I was showing you guys by hot routing those defensive linemen into QB spy. That's why I was able to get it off every single time. But if you got some elite defensive linemen or maybe a blitz on, there's a good chance that quarterback ain't going to have enough time to make that throw anyways. But just keep that in mind. If you decide, if he is beating you, one of the things you can do is flip the defense. Make sure you move the safety who's playing the deep third, or deep third over the middle. Make sure you just kind of move him a little bit like I was just showing earlier. Make sure you just move him a little bit over to the right, and you're going to have a little better chance of defending this. And if you don't, just go with the stock look of it. So I hope that something can help you guys as far as defending this. So what we're going to call this, how to defend the deep post cross combo.